Hello and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to talk about the things I will never knit. There are certain things that just don't appeal to me, and I think I've come up with 5 categories of things I will never knit. I've seen a couple of the people do this video and I thought it looked like fun. Some of mine, I was watching one yesterday, I can't remember who it was because it wasn't somebody I'd watched before, and I watched quite a few YouTube videos yesterday after that, so I can't find it in my history on YouTube, but I agree with some of the ones that she was saying she would never knit. So I thought I would just chat about this today, just for a fun video. This is meant to just be a fun, jokey video. So if you love the stuff I'm talking about, and you would definitely make it over and over again, don't take any offense at what I'm saying. It's just meant to be a bit of fun. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you're new here, my name is Anniken. I design knitting patterns. I teach knitting workshops online and in person, and I sell yarn through my website YarnAddict.co.uk. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. So I have 5 things on my list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things on my list. 6 things on my list that I will never knit. Some of them, there's 2 specific patterns, and the other one are categories of things. As I said, this is just meant to be a little bit of fun. Don't take it seriously. If you love these things or you've made these things, great. As long as you enjoy it, that's fine. I'm also, 2 of the things I'm going to mention are specific patterns. So I don't want anyone to think I'm having a go at those designers, because I'm not. I'm a designer. I know some people love my patterns. I'm sure some people hate my patterns, and I don't have anywhere near the popularity of these designers do. So it's just, these are 2 very, very viral patterns in the last few years, and I have some views about them, so I thought I'd share them. So let's go through this list, and remember, it is just meant to be a bit of fun. I think I'm going to start with the bottom one on my list. So Entrelac. Do you know what Entrelac is? Right, I found some pictures on Google, in case you haven't seen Entrelac before. So I haven't done a lot of Entrelac. I went on a workshop many years ago where we basically, I think the workshop was knitting backwards, and we did that by doing Entrelac. So Entrelac basically creates, it looks like a woven effect, and it does look very interesting. But you knit back and forth on a few stitches, and then I think you pick up stitches and knit in the other direction. I can't really remember exactly how you do it. But because the rows are so short, there's a lot of turning. So in the workshop, we were being taught to knit backwards. Now, the teacher, who was very good, knits English style. I knit Continental style. This is when I hadn't been teaching for that many years at this point. And it was at the shop where I teach a lot. So a lot of the people in the workshop knew me and thought it was hilarious because I was the one struggling the most in the morning, mainly because the teacher was demonstrating in an English, if you knit English style, and I don't. So I had to try and translate it to how I knit Continental style. And I decided for me it was just quicker to turn it and purl back. But I haven't done a lot of Entrelac, so maybe I should give it a chance. But to me, this always looks a bit lumpy, a bit chunky, and I just don't like the look of it. It's not very popular at the moment, I don't think. This looks a bit dated to me. So let me know, have you ever tried Entrelac? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Tell me in the comments what you think of Entrelac. Next on my list is bikinis, knickers or underpants, and bra tops. So I remember I went to a yarn show. It was a local one in Devon, small one in like a village hall somewhere, and somebody had knitted. I had on display a very delicate pair of like French knickers, the French underpants, very lacy, very delicate, had ribbon in them. They're very, very pretty, but I just can't imagine wearing it. And I've seen it occasionally on social media and on Ravelry and stuff, where people have knitted underwear, and I just can't imagine wearing it. And the same thing goes for knitted or crocheted swimwear. Crochet bikinis, I think they've made a bit of a comeback in recent years because of crochet's been so popular in the last couple of years, 2 or 3 years. But they just don't look very good. They don't hold you in. I mean, I don't wear bikinis anyway because I don't have the confidence to wear a bikini now. I can't imagine knitting anything like that. It's the same thing with knitting like bra tops and crop tops and things like that. I need to wear underwear under my clothes. Preferably underwear that has a bit of support and a bit of coverage. I actually do have a pair of my underpants on the desk next to me because they were drying downstairs, and I brought them up to put them away, and I haven't put them away yet, but I'm not going to show you what they are. But my underpants are very, very boring. They are big granny pants. Think Bridget Jones type knickers. So anything knitted like that, no, don't fancy it. And also, especially knitted swimwear, it's just going to get full of water. You'd have to knit it in cotton for it to be soft enough, I think. But it's just going to sag. I know it used to be a thing a long time ago, before my time, but I don't. Since become a bit popular again in recent years, I don't know. What do you think? Would you knit underwear or swimwear? Have you knitted it? Are you old enough to have worn knitted swimwear or crochet swimwear? Let me know in the comments. But no, it's not for me. Next on my list is knitted toys. I don't really do novelty things. I don't really enjoy knitting novelty things. I guess you can say maybe knitted lace shawls is a novelty thing, but I'm thinking knitted toys especially, but also certain like homewares and stuff I'm not that keen on. I may design it for a magazine or for a workshop to teach a certain technique, but I would never have it use it in my home, I don't think. But knitted toys, I have not done a lot of knitted toys, to be fair. I did when my kids were like primary school, end of primary school age, early secondary school age, probably. They may have both been secondary school, I don't know. When I first got back into knitting again, I bought a lot of like fake fur type yarns or like eyelash yarns. I gave a lot of it away after a few years to a local woman who was collecting craft equipment to send to an orphanage in Rwanda. And she thought this yarn was too nice to send them. And I was like, no, it's not. They'll think this is really good fun to work with. But I didn't want it anymore. So, but I must have found a couple of balls in my stash a few years later. And I saw a pattern for this knitted bear, teddy bear, small one. So I knitted it and it was just so misshapen. I don't think it was my knitting that was the problem. I think it was the way I stuffed it. I'm not very good at stuffing things. And girls thought it was hilarious. And they chucked it into the dog basket. And our dog at the time, Sam, just kind of looked at it and snorted and walked away. So even the dog rejected it. It was a joke for years as I got more and more published and designed some really intricate looking lace shawls and that kind of thing. It was a bit of a joke that I couldn't knit a teddy bear. But no, toys are not for me. I did try once to actually crochet a monkey. So my mum told me that my youngest nephew in Norway wanted a crocheted monkey, or I think he said a knitted monkey. My mum said, surely it's better to crochet that, and I'm not very good at crochet. But you crochet, can you do it? So I said yes. So I found a pattern for a amigurumi. I can never remember how to say it. American designer who I knew of at the time. I don't think she designs anymore. Bought a pattern, got some yarn, took a bit of a holiday to Spain. I did the 2 legs, 3 legs, or 2 legs and an arm. I did 3 limbs anyway, and it was just so boring. And I did 3 limbs and then I gave up. And I thought, does my nephew really want this? At the time, I can't remember how old he was, but I felt like he was a bit too old for a stuffed toy. And I was like, am I going to do this and it's never going to get used? Does he really want this? So I abandoned my crochet monkey and I never finished it. Now I follow somebody, Welsh tenor. I don't know what's his YouTube channel again. Knit365. Martin from Cardiff, Knit365 YouTube channel, Welsh tenor on Instagram. He does loads of Toft crochet patterns, and he does some amazing stuff. He does the Toft advent calendar every year, which is usually crocheting like an animal or a doll or something. He's done a lot of their historical women dolls, which look amazing. He's done so many things. I think he even has a bear pattern, teddy bear pattern, named after him now because he's done so much with Toft, and they look fantastic. And every year I watch his Vlogmas videos where he does the Toft advent calendar, and I think, oh, that looks like really good fun. Maybe I should have a go at that. And this year I actually saw on Instagram when they launched the advent calendar, and I looked at it and I was like, I think the advent calendar was like £100, and I was like, do I want to pay £100 to crochet a stuffed toy, animal, doll, whatever it's going to be? Because obviously you don't know what it's going to be. I am tempted if I see them at a show and they do a kit for one of their stuffed figures, that I might buy it and do it sometime. I don't know, but I decided not to go for the advent calendar. It's tempting, but I felt like it was a little bit pricey, so I didn't go for it. But I think what other people do is amazing. My history with stuffed toys is just not very good, so I don't do them anymore. The next three are a little bit more controversial maybe, and if you've made any of these things, great for you. One of them is viral sweaters, really. That's the overall category, is viral sweaters or viral patterns. Now, to be fair, I don't actually knit other people's patterns very often because I'm a designer. I'm usually working on my own design. I used to quite often, when I was due to go on holiday, look at patterns and choose the designer I liked, and I'd buy their pattern. I think, right, on this holiday, I will take a break from my own designs and knit this. And then I think, oh, yeah, but I've got like 2 weeks of knitting. I can knit a whole shawl or something like that in that time and have a new pattern ready when I come back from holiday. But apart from writing up the pattern and getting it tech edited and stuff. But it seemed like a lot of knitting time to waste on knitting somebody else's design. So I did that a few times. I bought a pattern and then ended up designing something myself. I also don't like following other people's patterns. I find it easier to just design my own. So that is the other reason why I don't really like knitting from other people's patterns. But for viral sweaters, I'm especially thinking about sweaters from people like Petite Knit. It's a Danish designer. There's also a designer called the Petite Knitter who's from, I think, Alaska or somewhere. She does some beautiful patterns as well. Andrea Mowry, West Knits, Stephen West. There's loads of Scandinavian designers, I can't remember all the names, that do all a kind of similar style of patterns. On Craftsnack, on Reddit, they will quite often be called the sad beige Scandinavian knitters. Might be a bit harsh, but they tend to go for neutrals, fairly. There is a kind of modern Scandinavian look now, I feel. When I grew up, Scandinavian sweaters, or at least Norwegian sweaters, when you talk about traditional Norwegian sweaters, you thought colour work and quite intricate patterns. Now, when you talk about the Scandinavian look, most people think about patterns like the ones Petite Knit does. Very simple, clean lines, drop shoulder, oversized, mostly top down, neutral colours, a lot of beige. I'm not really a beige person. So yeah, they're not really my kind of thing, really. But my mum's knitted a couple of Petite Knit patterns, and even though my mum's a very good knitter, she's been knitting all her life. She probably struggles a little bit with new patterns now more than she used to do. I think that's just an age thing, probably, and the fact that she's got a lot of stuff on her mind, and I think that makes it difficult sometimes to pick up new information. But there were a few things in the pattern I wasn't that happy with. Like, for example, it used German short rows, but it didn't tell you how to use them. I guess they just assume you will either know or you will have the ability to Google. My mum wouldn't necessarily think to Google something or look up a YouTube tutorial. Fortunately, I can, of course, do German short rows, so I showed her how to do them. But I would always, techniques like that you may not expect everyone to know, I would normally include a description for that in my pattern. And then if it's something I have a tutorial for, I will usually link to the tutorial as well. Andrea Mowry does some beautiful things. Love a lot of her patterns. Some of them aren't my taste, but I like a lot of them. I've seen some people have knitted some of them and they look fantastic. I think they're very wearable designs. She does like an annual Rhinebeck sweater for the Rhinebeck show in upstate New York in the autumn, and it's a big knit along every year and loads of people wear them. I'm a little bit kind of going to a show and everyone wearing the same sweater as you. It's probably exciting to go to a show and everyone's wearing the same sweater as you, but I remember a few years ago when Love Notes, I think that's what it's called, by Tinker Knits, I think, was all the rage. And I remember going to YarnAddict and it was just everywhere you turned there was a love note. Some of them looked fantastic, some of them did not. Some of them just didn't fit very well, but that's because the knitting may have knitted the wrong size or the wrong tension or whatever. Some of them did look really good, some of them I was not that impressed with, but that might be the individual knitter. But I mean, it's exciting when I've been to shows and people have come and shown me they're wearing one of my garments or shawls, or and it's something I've designed. It's very exciting. I love that. And if I had designed a pattern that went viral and I turned up at YarnAddict and there was like 100 people wearing something I designed, of course that'd be very exciting. But I'm not sure that I would want to turn up at an event with loads of people wearing the same item as me. I don't know, so I'm not very keen on viral sweaters, which brings me on to two specific viral sweaters that are very popular at the moment. The first one is the halibut sweater. You've seen the halibut sweater? It's by Caitlin Hunter. Let me just find it here. So she's done a couple. She's done the halibut and the king salmon. To me, they're both just fishy sweaters. Let me just find the halibut one. It's got a large fish on the yoke. It's pretty. In these pictures, you can't really see it that well because the yarn is so dark. But it has a very deep yoke. So in a lot of pictures, it looks like the yoke comes down quite far below the armhole. So the fish is quite big and it comes down quite a long way. And I've seen some people, Tribe Yarns, she's a British online yarn shop. She had a shop in London, Richmond, I think it was. I've been there once, and then recently, 2 years ago, she closed that and she now has an online shop there, and she's moved to Scotland. She knits the most amazing things. They're really, really beautiful. She's also very slim and tiny, and they look fantastic on her. She knitted this sweater and it looks really good, but she split the color work. So it looks like on the original pattern, the color work goes all the way down. It splits for the sleeves and the body below the color work, which is much easier to braid and write up in the pattern for multiple sizes, to be quite honest. That's what I would normally do. But some people, when you go through the projects and Ravelry, and there is like 2,600 projects, so it's clearly a very popular sweater. So I'm probably completely wrong. But some people have split for the color work and carried on the color work on the sleeve and the body separately so that the yoke is a bit smaller. What happens when you have a pattern where the yoke is too deep and it comes down too far is what's happened on the King Salmon sweater, which is another fishy sweater by Caitlin Hunter. This one, the fish, on the halibut one, they're hanging by their tail, if you like. This one, their faces upwards. But let me just show one of the pictures on here. I'm a bit surprised. Don't think I would have included this picture. This is what happens if the yoke is too deep. When you lift your arm up, you lift the whole side of your sweater up. This also looks like it's fairly cropped, which if it's top down, which I'm assuming it is, you can make it longer. The model, which I'm assuming is Caitlin Hunter, I don't know, is very slim. And some of these pictures look really good. She looks great in it. But when you lift your arm up and the whole sweater rides up and you flash everything underneath it, I mean, granted, you probably wear something else under that sweater. But I don't like that. So depending on what you're doing, if you're just sitting typing away at your computer all day or knitting or something like that, it's probably fine. If you're trying to carry a bag on your shoulder, for example, a shoulder bag, or you need to reach up or carry kids or lift things or do things, then it's not a very practical sweater. So that's one of my problems, is the construction method. My other problem is the fact that it's got fish on it. I don't like fish, and I can't imagine wearing a garment or an accessory that has fish on it. I know there are some popular patterns that have like cats on it. There might be some that had dogs on it. I don't know. I would probably wear a sweater with dogs on it because I like dogs. I wouldn't wear a sweater with cats on it because I'm not a cat person. I just don't like fish, and I wouldn't wear a sweater with fish on it. Tell me if you've knitted the halibut or the king salmon sweater and what you thought of it. Do you like it? And then the last one, which is also a specific pattern, and again it's very popular. It's got over 30,000 patterns. I'm over 30,000 patterns. Projects, sorry, it's got over 30,000 projects. So that's a lot, but it's the Renunculus. I have no idea if I pronounced that correctly. It's on the model. It looks very big and oversized. It's a loose kind of yoke. It's got a bit of lace, a bit of cable. I assume it's top down. It's quite oversized. Again, on some of these pictures, it's got quite a deep yoke. Like on this one, you'd have the same problem. If you lift your arm up, the whole sweater would come up. That looks better, I think. That looks quite nice. I guess it probably depends on what yarn you knit it in. This reminds me a bit of the Love Note sweater that was very popular a few years ago. That was also circular yoke. I'm assuming top down, had like a very simple lace pattern on the yoke. A lot of people knitted in mohair. This has that kind of vibe to me. Bit of lace, bit of cables. It looks like very loose tension, very airy, light. It sounds like something I would wear because it's very light and airy. But I don't know, I've just seen, I mean, there's a couple there that look like they fitted fairly well, but I've just seen a lot of them that to me just don't look like they fit that well. But that could be the individual knitters choosing the wrong size for them. But I don't understand why it's so popular. So do I sound really bitchy saying this? I don't mean to be. So I went for 3 specific categories of stuff I don't like knitting: Entrelac, knitted toys. What was the other one? Knitted toys. Oh, knitted underwear, swimwear, and then barrel sweaters, in particular the halibut or king salmon or any fishy sweater, and the Renunculus. But I felt a bit the same about Love Note when that came out. You knitted any of these things? Do you have things that you will never knit and you don't understand why people knit them and why it's so popular? I must admit, with the Entrelac one, when I was writing this down yesterday, I was thinking about the fact that a number of years ago, I kept being asked to teach brioche knitting, and I said no because I haven't done a lot of brioche. I'd had a go at it, but I didn't really like it that much. And I was a bit like, do I want to learn how to do brioche properly so I can teach it? And I was like, no, I don't really like brioche. I hadn't seen it in brioche that I thought was really nice. And then at the start of COVID, at the start of the first lockdown, somebody I followed, and I can't remember who it was, did a free brioche knit along. So I thought, well, I'll do that because I lost my design mojo a bit. I've talked about this in other videos. A lot of stuff going on at the time, including the fact that my sister was dying of cancer. So it was not a good time. And I lost my design mojo a bit. And I knitted a lot of socks to start with, and then I got a bit bored of that. So I decided to do this knit along, which is not normally something I would take part in. But I thought, well, I'll do it just to see whether I enjoy it and what it's like. So I did that, and I didn't finish the brioche sample we were doing. It was basically to try and teach you brioche while doing this knit along. And I got about halfway through it, and then I thought, actually, I'm quite enjoying brioche. So I then designed a brioche pattern. Did I or did I not? No, I think I did. No, I don't think I designed my first brioche pattern until the next year. My first brioche pattern was my enchanted shawl, which I'll put a picture on the screen when I'm editing this if I remember. And I designed that on the way to Spain. So that must have been 2021 rather than 2020. And then I think in 2022, I started teaching brioche. I've taught brioche loads now, and I really enjoy it. It's a challenging workshop to teach, but it's not that many years ago, like 6, 7, 8 years ago, I was like, no, I don't like brioche. It doesn't appeal to me. And now I quite like it. And having just knitted a very simple brioche clutch, I do fancy knitting one that's a little bit more complicated. brush is very similar to lace knitting to me. It uses increases and decreases to create patterns. I don't have a lot of brush stuff here, but I do have this cowl just poking out. This is my the delightful cowl, I can't remember. But it uses increases and decreases to create patterns. But it's like straight lines like this, diagonal lines like a chevron pattern, or whether it's a bit more wavy. Let's see if I have any more brush here. No, I don't. So I do like brush now, and I didn't. So never say never. I might say I don't like these things. Who knows? I might design a sweater later this year with fish on it, or shrimp on it, or dog bones on it. I don't know. Who knows? This was just meant to be a fun, jokey video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know, are there any things that you will not knit? And are there any things that you don't understand what's so popular? What, I mean, maybe you think, what on earth would people knit in lace shawls? What do you wear a lace shawl for? What do you need that for? I mean, I love knitting them, but I can understand when people says, well, I'd never wear a lace shawl, so why would I knit one? I've had that said to me loads of times, and I quite understand that, but I quite enjoy knitting them. For me, knitting is two things. It's enjoying doing it, and it's enjoying wearing it. Two things don't necessarily go together. Sometimes I knit something because I enjoy knitting it. Sometimes I knit or make something that I want to wear. Two are not always the same. What you want to knit and what you want to wear don't always go together. So let me know what you think in the comments. Am I being cruel? Or do you agree with me? Or do you disagree with me? Share in the comments. I was trying to do this in a fun way, not to be, so don't take any offense, please. Anyway, that's it for today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. And if you think this was a silly video that I shouldn't have recorded, give me some ideas of videos you would like me to see, and I will add them to my list of recording. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.